निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चातादिशतारिणे सरस्वती देवी Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah Jaya Vaishnav Gosai Jaya Vaishnav Gosai Vaishnav Gosai Jaya Vaishnav Gosai Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. So Hare Krishna. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge every one of you here this morning for a special Srila Prabhupada Sunday Love Feast here at the Hare Krishna Study Center. And as you see on the screen there, it is called Maha Vaishnava Shraadha ceremony, where we are going to make offerings for all those wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who make their appearance right here in front of Srila Prabhupada in their picture form. So it is a special occasion for all of us. Somehow or the other, we should think that, as along with so many offerings and pujas and ceremonies and kirtan, everything else that would have performed on behalf of our loved ones, our God brothers, God sisters, devotees, all, this is a special one that we all will get an opportunity to perform, to offer together. Just for the pictures of all these wonderful personalities to be here in Srila Prabhupada Vyasa alone means quite a bit. Very, very extraordinary, you may say. So what will happen is that we will be doing Guru Puja. Immediately after Guru Puja will be Tulsi Artik. And after Tulsi Artik, the representative from the family members of your loved one who would have departed will sit around the Yagya Kun, the Havan Kun. But before you sit, you will come forward and you will place a flower garland around the picture of your father or mother, whoever would have departed for you. And we'll have a few devotees who will be placing garlands on the pictures of the devotees who are not present, like in the case of the Trinidadian devotee, Baladev, Nareshwar Prabhu and Ramadas Prabhu. So immediately you can all stand, and the Prabhus can have a line here, Matajis can have one line there. You'll get an opportunity to come forward and offer some petals to Srila Prabhupada. Someone will purify your hands, and then you will offer some petals. And let us all, Haridas Prabhu, let us all somehow or the other maintain a level of consciousness, a level of mindset, that everything that we are doing here, Haridas Prabhu, everything that we are doing here, you're here on behalf of your loved one who would have passed away. So which means whatever spiritual benefit that would have come to us, we offer that to the departed soul, we offer those benefits. So this is the mood that we will want to maintain throughout the entire session here this morning. You can get some extra. So you can come forward a little, make 2 lines. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshadunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshadunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Niveshisha Shunyavadi Pastatyarishatadini.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashacha Deshatadini.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma.
Bandhamai Sabadana Mate.
Bandhamai Sabadana Mate.
Bandhamai Sabadana Mate.
Bandhamai Sabadana Mate.
Yahada Prasadeva Ibhava Turiyajai.
Jahara Prasare He Bhava Turiyajai.
Krishna Prapti Ajaha hoite.
Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite.
Krishna prapti hoya hoite.
Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite.
Guru mukha padma vakya chitete koriya kya.
Guru mukha padma vakya chitete koriya kya.
Anakori mane asha.
Arana kori ho mane asha.
Anakori mane asha.
Arana kori ho mane asha.
Shri Guru Charane Rate Ese Utamagate.
Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Utamagate.
Ye prasare pure sarva asha.
Je prasade pure sarva asha.
Ye prasare pure sarva asha.
Je prasade pure sarva asha.
Chakuram dilare jame jame prabhu se.
Chakuran diloje janme janme prabhu se.
Divya gyan hri prakasito.
Divya gyan hre prakashito.
Divya gyan hri prakasito.
Divya gyan hre prakashito.
Prema bhakti jayate avidya vinasa jate.
Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasa jate.
Prema bhakti jayate avidya vinasa jate.
Prema bhakti jaite avidya vinasa jate.
Virigaya racharita.
Virigaya jahara charito.
Virigaya racharito.
Virigaya jahara charito.
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu.
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Arhama Janara Bandhu.
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu.
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Arhama Janara Bandhu.
Lokanath Lokera Jivana.
Lokanath Lokera Jivana.
Lokanath Lokera Jivana.
Lokanath Lokera Jivana.
Ha Prabhu Koradoya Diho More Parachaya.
Ha Prabhu Koradoya Deho More Parachaya.
Ha Prabhu Koradoya Diho More Parachaya.
Ha Prabhu Koradoya Deho More Parachaya.
Vivyasa Gusu Tribhuvana.
Vivyasa Gusu Tribhuvana.
Prabhupada Patita Pavana.
Prabhupada Patita Pavana
Dipadi Layla Sharana
Dipadi Layla Sharana
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta
Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Srila Prabhupada ki Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Padvakacharya Astota Star Sri Samaz Vangres A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Padvakacharya Astota Star Sri Samaz Vangres Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Gosa Maharaj ki Anant Gauri Vaishnava ki ISKCON Fangla Srila Srila Prabhupada ki Nam Srila Sri Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gauda Bhaktavinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath, Shamakunda Radhakunda Gir Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Mathuram ki jai, Bhatmadanga ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki, Natai Gauda Premanandi. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can obtain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. I only wish to have my consciousness purified by the words emanates from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection fulfill all desires. Heal my darkened eyes and from my heart to transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prem emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scripture sings of his character. Our spiritual master is an ocean of mercy, friend of the poor Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. You are the Savior of the most fallen. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Srimati Vrindadevi Tulasi Maharani ki jai. So everyone, please offer obeisances. Vrindai Tulsi Deviyai Priyai Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Satyavatai Namo Namah. Vrindai Tulsi Deviyai Priyai Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Satyavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaye Tulsi Deviyai Priyai Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Satyavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Namo Namah Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha. Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Hey Abhilashi. Ye to mara sharanaloy tara vancha purna hoy. Kripa kore koro tare Vrindavana vasi. Morae abhilash vilas kunje diovas. Vilas kunje diovas. Nayane herivo sada. Yugala rupa rashi nayane eni vedana dhara sakirano gata koro. सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी बिना कृष्ण दासे कोई ये नाम रहो श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये नवासी श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये नवासी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मा हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणाश्यन्ते प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मा हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणाश्यन्ते प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulasi Devi, Jai Tulasi Devi, Jai Tulasi Devi, Jaya Tulasi Devi. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jai Vrinda Devi, Jai Vrinda Devi. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jai Tulsi Maharani, Jai Tulsi Maharani, Jai Tulsi Maharani.
Hare Krishna.
Vrindayaya Tulsi Deviyaya Priyaya Keshavasya cha Krishna Bhakti Prate Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Shri Vrindayaya Tulsi Deviyaya Priyaya Keshavasya cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Shri Vrindayaya Tulsi Deviyaya Priyaya Keshavasya cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha.
Vrindaya Tulsi Deviyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Pradevi Sarvataya Namo Namah.
Shrimati Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So you can all take your seats. Here is a Kirtanya. Kirtanyas. Krishna Ramani. Nama Om and Hare Krishna. Put this one slanted like this. Put one in here. Push back.
Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati
So we can have the representative for the different family who are sitting, who will be sitting on behalf of your loved one. Sachi Sutta. Sachi. And put some more sponge. Put sponge right away around here.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitani
Sachi.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda
Krishna Kirtan. Darshan. Avinash. Mukesh. Murli. You go sit behind. You go sit behind. We wouldn't have enough space for everybody in front here. Sham. Vrinda? Where is Vrinda? Vrinda, stand up here. Anybody else is coming on behalf
Hare
of...
Krishna Hare
Okay, so we'll still have to
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
we'll still have to leave space for the devotee who will be sitting on behalf of Baladev Prabhu, Nareshwar and Ramadas Prabhu and Lochandas Thakur. So you can take your seats, please.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
So you can purify your hands.
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Bolo, Hare Krishna. So once again, we want to acknowledge the presence of each and every one of you here, and those of you who are joining us virtually also. It is a special occasion for all of us here in ISKCON Guyana, the Caribbean, and even further abroad, as we endeavor to perform the Maha Vaishnava Shraadha ceremony this morning. We will continue with some Bhagavad Gita recitation. We will ask Sachi and Hari Kirtan and the boys, you can do Jayarada Madhava for us first, and then you can recite the entire 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Mayapur, Hari and Sachi. While they are doing Jayarada Madhava, we'll request the family members. Sachi Sutta, you're there? Mayapur and Hari Kirtan operate there. So you can assist in garlanding. So one by one you'll get up and you will go and garland the different devotees. So Haridas Prabhu, you can garland Baladev, His Grace Baladev Prabhu. Gaura, Krishna Kirtan, you can garland your father. Darsan, you can garland your father also. Bhaktavinash, your son, Sevananda, Mukesh, you can garland your mom, Murli, you can garland your father, check the different size of garlands that you have. You are China with more lamps thread.
Pinaka-figure.
Harihar Prabhu, you can garland Lochandas Thakur Das. Shamji, you can garland your mom. Brinda, you can garland your father. Bhajagaranga or Shruti, you can garland your grandfather. His Grace Rishabhadev Prabhu. Sachisuta, you will garland Nareshwar Prabhu. And Bhajagaranga, you can garland Ramadas Prabhu. You meditate?
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya
Everyone can put three drops of water in your right palm.
Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
So when you signal you will pour the water direct into the ground in front of you. Om Tat Sat Shri Govinda 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 Asyam Shivatu Achyutara Gochara Prabhupada Radadevadasya Sri Krishna Pratyartam Mangalam Samskara Karmaham Karisyami. Wash your hands. That is Radhakanta Prabhu.
Vande Rupa Sanatana Naguyago Shri Deva Gopalako
Sanatana
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Radha Madhava Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. So just before we recite Bhagavad Gita, which is an essential part of any Shraddha ceremony, what to speak of this Vaishnava, Maha Vaishnava Shraadha ceremony here this morning, I'll humbly request that something special are going to take place. Already this special, whatever is happening here. So we urge everyone, wherever you are, if you can make it down here to the Hare Krishna Study Center now physically. Otherwise, we humbly request you to please send out message to your devotee friends, well-wishers, family members, relatives, whomever you have in your contact. Let them join, forward the link, the Zoom link to them, and let them join now. Otherwise, they will miss out. They will all have a valuable opportunity to make offering on behalf of their departed loved ones or on behalf of the devotees who we are making offering on behalf here this morning. So please encourage your devotee friends and relatives, well-wishers, everyone to please make it down here at the Hare Krishna Study Center now or join us on Zoom. You are on Facebook and YouTube also this morning?
Yes.
So they can also join on Facebook, YouTube, but we prefer that they join on Zoom. Hare Krishna. 12th chapter.
Arjuna uvacha evam satata yukta ye bhaktastam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha.
Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested?
Shri Bhagavan uvacha मय्यावेश मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ता तमा मताः.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect."
ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देशम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवं संयमेन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः.
But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्तहि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते.
For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, the impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मया वेशितचेतसाम्.
But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Buddha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death.
मय्येवामनाधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवासिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशय.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
अताचित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नुषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय.
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
अभ्यासेऽपि समर्थोऽसि मत्कर्मा परमो भव मदर्थम् अपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage.
अथैतादपि यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्.
If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागस्त्यागच्छान्तिरनन्तरम्.
If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge.
Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action.
For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind.
अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखः सुखक्षमे सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चय मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः.
One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me.
Yasmanodvijate loko lokanodvijate chaya harshamharshabhayodvege muktoya sacha me priyaha.
He, by whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me.
Anapekshah shuchir daksha udasino gatavyatah sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha.
My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me.
Yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kamshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktimanya same priyaha.
One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me.
Samaha shatrau cha mitre cha tata manapamanayo shitoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjita tulya ninda stutir mauni santushto yena kenachit aniketah sthiramatir bhaktimane priyo naraha.
One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat, cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me.
Ye tu dharmamritam idam yatoktam paryupasate shraddhadana matparama bhaktasteti me priyaha.
Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. Hare Bol. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. So I'd like to humbly request Sachi Sutta Prabhu to give us a little highlight of the different devotees who we are making offerings on behalf, at least the ones that we have listed. So you can list the names first, and then you can give us their, just for us, for all of us, information, and even for the recording this morning, at least the date of birth, date of departure, and if the information is there when they would have joined Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna. So the list of Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis are as follows: Buddhi Yoga Das, Baladev Das, Nareshwar Das, Lochan Das Thakur Das, Tridesh Bhagavan Das, Rama Das, Revati Devi Dasi, Vairagya Lakshmi Devi Dasi, Abhaya Das, Jagannath Sevaka Das, and Sevananda.
We have also Uncle Deo, and we'll be making some, we'll invite also Mataji Mala to make offerings to her good husband, Uncle Mike. So those will be two additional names.
Yes, so I'll just mention about each individual, beginning from who departed first. So His Grace Buddhi Yoga Prabhu, also known as Rishi Patanjali Bharat, date of birth 14th of February 1961. He joined Krishna consciousness around the year 1984. Date of departure 28th of August 2021. His Grace
Haribol.
Baldev
So Buddhi Yoga would have been the eldest among his siblings. His father would have got the name Rishabhadev because all the boys take up the devotional service, and His Holiness Satsrup Maharaj would have given the name following the original Rishabhadev incarnation of the Lord, his name Rishabhadev. And Buddhi Yoga would have been very special in many ways since the beginning. And even when I joined, when I heard the name Buddhi Yoga, it's like, it rings a bell. And later on, seeing the personality would have been quite something. I was an IFLUT back in the days, in the beginning days. But when I went to Borbis in '93, Buddhi Yoga would have, of course, already in family life many years before Gaurangavani already born. And there was a separation. Buddhi Yoga Prabhu had took someone else. He was living opposite Albion police station. And we were in the mood 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, those years in celebrating Srila Prabhupada's centennial year. And they had a lotus petal, a 10 petals lotus, of different activities that they were embarking on ISKCON internationally under different theme, celebrating Srila Prabhupada centennial anniversary, and one of them was uniting Prabhupada's family. Alignment with Prabhupada and all that different things about. So you can check it up online. It is amazing how the devotees were. And so in the mood of uniting Prabhupada's family, I don't know, I was a kid that time and I took it upon myself to go to different devotees' home. I used to, when we was in IFLUT, used to ride bicycle and go and find Dhruva, the late Dhruva Prabhu, and Maharaj Pariksit also leave his body, and many other devotees, Nityananda, Narshinganandan. So when I went to Borbis, the same mood was there. So I went to Rishabhadev Prabhu among different devotees, and Rishabhadev Prabhu, he was lamenting. I don't know how many of us know this story. Rishabhadev Prabhu was lamenting bitterly that all his boys were in devotional service and now they all migrated and he don't know what they're doing. And that even Buddhi Yoga, were there practicing stanchly, but even now I don't know what he's doing. So that I should go and check with him. So Rishabhadev sent me to Buddhi Yoga. And that was the beginning. We were instrument in, reconnecting Buddhi Yoga Prabhu back with his practice and devotional service in general and preaching. We brought him to Panihati, make him part of festival committee. Myself and him was getting people to sponsor the Khalsa. And then he and Tridesh Bhagwan Prabhu started the Pandal program in all over Borbis. And that is how he was, he became re-established. I have some pictures in the house in Panihati, had initial meeting regarding the New Kalinagram project, the construction of New Kalinagram project. So he became very active since then.
So we'll continue. His Grace Baldev Prabhu, born on 13th of January 1958, enjoying Krishna consciousness in early 1979, and date of departure 25th of September 2021. Continuing, His Grace Narishwar Prabhu, also known as Nari Birja Singh, born on 23rd of February 1967, joined Krishna consciousness in 1997 and departed on 19th of December 2021. His Grace Lochan Das Thakur Prabhu, also known as Thakur Prasad, born on 3rd of November 1939. He joined Krishna consciousness but became initiated on 23rd of December 2014. He departed on 13th of February 2022.
So he was like always in Krishna consciousness somehow or the other. From since the early days in Iflut, as a businessman, as a young man back in those days, he used to bring provisions to the temple in Iflut, 24 Estate 24 Iflut Front Estate Road, we used to say. So he would have known Rupa Goswami Prabhu and Ishwar Das and Krishna Chandra and all the devotees back in the days, Bhattari Prabhu and like that. However, in more recent years, in the last 15 years or so, he would have become much more serious. And very significantly, at the age of 75, he would have took Diksha initiation.
So continuing, His Grace Tridesh Bhagwan Prabhu, born on 19th of October 1963, enjoying Krishna consciousness in the year 1986, and departed on 28th of March 2022.
As we know, Tridesh Bhagwan Prabhu would have performed many outstanding devotional service in the line of Krishna consciousness in the beginning days with Mother Chandravali, Jhuvadari, Agrani Swami then, Agrani Prabhu now. And then continuously throughout all the years, non-stop. Those days was Padayatra and Ratayatra and huge festivals. But then recent years was constructing temples and engage in management on different levels, temple president, national board rep, many service he would have embarked and performed for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. So all glories to Tridesh Bhagavan Prabhu.
Continuing, Vairagya Lakshmi Devi Mataji, born on 13th of February 1957, joined Krishna consciousness in 1996, departed on 1st of June 2022.
And if you want to hear about austerities and practicing devotional service, interview the Matajis and the Prabhus who were back in the days living at New Panihati Dam. I think you should interview Arjuna Prabhu, Mother Takrani and the Mother Gandhavika and all the ladies and Prabhus, Haridas Prabhu, Paramatma Prabhu, all of them who were in the beginning days living at New Panihati. I had the opportunity to be there only for 5 years in Panihati Dam. But if they were one most committed Sunday program attendant, that was Vairagya Mataji. And she was living over this side. She was living West Borbis. And those days they were, now it's easy, people just drive over the bridge, and even now driving over the bridge and go for the Sunday feast, people is saying it's too far. But just think what it would have meant back in those days. You know, there were only one ferry that was working across from Roseknal to New Amsterdam. So how many hours you had to come and get into a ferry and then go reach there? And she used to reach early more than anybody else, way down the dam in Panihati, rain or sun, whatever it used to be. And then after the Sunday feast, because back in those days, Sunday feast used to finish with the regular time of Gaura Artik, which Gaura Artik used to be 6:30, which means finish at 7. And then Prashadam. And then she then had a vehicle come out at Sewell Turn and get a vehicle to take her to New Amsterdam and then get on the ferry to come home. And of course she was a single mother to add to that with 3 kids, 3 babies. Don't think that Cham and, you know, Aravati Mataji was, you know, like how you're seeing them now, no. And we never see the kids. I don't know what she used to do with the kids. Maybe she locked them up in a cradle and come for Sunday feast and go back. So all glories to Vairagya Mataji.
Continuing, Revati Mataji, also known as Lakshmin, born on 27th of October 1942, enjoying Krishna consciousness in early 1984.
94 or 84?
84.
Okay.
Departed on 2nd of June 2022.
And you would have heard so many glorification of Mother Revati, but in recent time, this is what's, really, I among so many things that would have stand out of our service, she and Vasudev Prabhu, what stand out with me in recent time and shows her level of practice and wanting to be in devotee association. So what we did when we started here, a few times I used to tell devotees that let us don't take it for granted that these opportunities for service and all that will always be there, that these bodies that we have very soon will get old, and that we will be laying there on our dead bed or on our invalidity bed. And these are harsh and strong terms, but it will happen just for it to really register. People like Hari Kirtan and Sachi Sutta might think we are young and wild and know nothing about old age and all that. So it's just for it to register, gentlemen. So we used to take busload of devotees to the house of Mr. Mukesh, he is right here, the son of Vasudev Prabhu, to show the devotee the mood of these two elderly devotees, Vasudev Prabhu and Mother Revati. Why? Why we were doing that? Because Vasudeva and Mother Revati, they were worshipping the deities for many years from Iflat coming to Crane. But now both of them, many years ago, 15 years ago, fall sick. Become, elderly, body became, inundated with so many, overpowered with so many sickness. And why I was taking the devotees there, because whenever we visit them, their only meditation and lamentation, their meditation was coming with a lamentation. Their meditation was when they will get an opportunity to come and serve Sri Sri Nitai Chaitanya Chandra. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra later on came there, and Krishna Balaram. When they will get and they were lamenting bitterly. Just see our condition now. We cannot come and worship the deities anymore. Just see our condition. It's like we're only waiting now to give up these bodies. So we took devotees, busload by busload devotees there, to show them what is the condition, how it can become, how it can get, what will happen. So that was something that really stand out that we used to do. But in recent time, when pandemic started, 2020, 2 years ago, and we started this Zoom online program and the Facebook and YouTube later on. She, for that 2 years, was the most committed, most punctual. Until now, we haven't found a replacement for her. There is no devotee. I was calling Ramna Singha and Bhajagaranga and all of them after the first evening program, and I was saying, what a shame. Especially myself and Ramna Singha Prabhu, I was telling him, no one from West Side, hardly anybody from Borbis. And then I told Sachi Sutta that the Hare Krishna Study Center people, they are graduated, with all due respect. Maybe you might want to stone me after this. But they never come on Zoom. I mean, all these nights we were making offering to all these devotees. No one, hardly anyone was on Zoom. People didn't have to come out of their houses. We weren't asking them to come to the temple and perform this service and that service, just to give an hour. Just to give an hour to be part of this process. Was too much. And even some of the family members, this morning I was arguing with one son of, one of the departed devotee. I was saying, Prabhu, is it that I have to beg you to make an offering to your departed father, and then when you come in front of me, you're showing me, the tears of separation and pain, as if it is so difficult for you and that you love your father so much. Here, the GBC, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, are doing one of the greatest offering, and you just cannot be on Zoom or come for an hour or for a few minutes. So this means we have to rethink. This is not to put down anyone, but we have to rethink. if we are saying it really hurts us, and we really love this person, what love means. Love means only what the person could have done for us when they were here physically. Now is the time to really show our love. When the person becomes helpless, and that it is our place, our position to make an offering. It is not done and finished that the body is done. If the body was done and it was finished, then why we are here? Why we actually chant in any way? Why we come and perform devotional service in any way? So these are serious things. We are losing our culture. We are losing, we'll see that, it will become as Kali Yuga goes by, people drop down and dead and no one even care to even cremate them. But if the Krishna consciousness movement have the highest philosophy, it means that we should have the highest people. Highest people means the most cultured people in the world. The highest and most cultured people in the world means most exemplary people. So this is, the example of Mother Revati would have been outstanding. I know Mukesh and especially his son would have learned quite a bit in terms of punctuality. Mukesh's son, what's your son's name again? Ram. Ram had to be there like half an hour before each Sunday program and each online program. And she would have became so fascinated with Hari Kirtan and Shanta Vigraha Prabhu and Sachi Sutta and all the Kirtanyas, Mayapur and everything. She never saw Shanta Vigraha Prabhu more or less, but she became so close with Shanta Vigraha Prabhu that Shanta Vigraha Prabhu was fortunate to perform her 11-day Shraadha ceremony. How these things works, you don't know. So continue.
His Grace Abhaya Prabhu, born on 25th of March 1961, joined Krishna consciousness in 1979, departed on 15th of June 2022.
So just a few months ago, Abhaya Prabhu would have left us, and he's one of among the first set of initiated devotees, other than Bhuttari Prabhu. The second set of devotees that was going to become initiated, I think that initiation took place in Trinidad, Satsrup Maharaj. Iflat? Okay, so the first batch of devotee, Haridas Prabhu, Abhaya, Paramatma Prabhu, all these devotees, since 1981, 41 years ago. And when I used to go by Dhruva House in Metamirzag, then I realized there was 3 Haribowls, Dhruva Prabhu was in the middle, and Abhaya Prabhu was on the western side. That is where Abhaya Prabhu came from. Azad was the name, and then Maharaj Pariksit was on the eastern side. 3 houses after another. 3 neighbors became disciples of Satsrup Maharaj. And you have to hear the stories of these devotees. It will take you tons and tons of time. Maharaj Pariksit and his preaching skills, and Dhruva as a little boy, and Abhaya Prabhu came from Islamic family and like that. So it's quite some stories. Inspiring stories. Continue.
His Grace Jagannath Sevaka Prabhu, also known as Mahendra Dutt Balaram, born on 24th of November 1971, joined Krishna consciousness around 2007, departed on 23rd of June 2022.
So I used to tell Haridas Prabhu that you can remember where we used to see Jagannath Sevak Prabhu? That when I went to Borbis, this thing is given a little thing. When I went to Borbis 1993, one of my service became going on collection for Janamastami and Ratayatra and Padayatra and all that with Mother Chandravali. Haridas Prabhu was at the Sawmill those days, and he will drive us. So I remember first time seeing Jagannath Sevak Prabhu, Haridas Prabhu introduced me to him. He was at which gas station it was? Around the turn? Number 79? No. There was a gas station where he was working. So Sukram or Springlands. He was working at the gas station there. So that is where, and every time we go for donation, he will always give, so we always had to stop in there. So that was and of course later on we all learn of all the wonderful service that he would have rendered. Even became member on ISKCON Ghana National Board. Within a short time, he established, the temple there and all that. So yeah, continue.
So finally, Sevananda Prabhu, born on 23rd of August 2021, joined Krishna consciousness before birth and departed on 14th of August 2022.
That is nice. He joined before birth. That is the son of our dear Avinash and Paramdam Mataji. Yes, he would have been rendering devotional service since he was within the womb of his mother. She used to come and worship the deities with him in the womb. So yes, he joined Krishna consciousness from way before. And he chose to leave us, early, very early. You can also hear the story of Sevanand from Avinash and Paramdam. And our dear good friend, Mr. Mike, also became very close with us, and more so now his loving Dharmpatni, Malaji. And Uncle Deo from Brigumuni Prabhu's preaching center in Mahaika. He used to be one of the regular. So Uncle Deo also would have departed a few days ago, a month and a half or so ago. He would have departed. So we are making offering during this Pitri Paksh for all these devotees and their fathers, forefathers, that wherever this soul may be, that may they all become liberated, may they all be blessed by the Supreme Lord, that they can attain immense bhakti, devotion, Krishna Prema unto the lotus feet of the Lord. So in the meantime, so you had all the names there, right? Ramadas and everybody.
Couldn't be able to get any information about
So Ramadas was special. Ramadas came from African background. He's African. He joined many years disciple of Satsrup Maharaj. And we used to quote him back in the days in many, many occasions, but especially you heard last night about his night before last night about his dedicated service and determination in sadhana and worshipping the deities and all that. But we used to quote back in the days 20, 25 years ago that you don't know to read to keep a Bhagavatam class. That in the beginning days, maybe recent years he learned to read, but he said in the beginning days he didn't know to read. But that the devotee will read the Bhagavatam verse and purport, and then he can lecture for hours and hours and hours. So that was something special about Ramadas. Alright? And I was whispering to Mayapur Chandradoya Prabhu just before we get here. If you want to know why I was telling Mayapur when he just finished Jayarada Madhava, and he was saying, Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. That's not the way Radhakanta Prabhu would have chanted. But Radhakanta, this mic is giving me something, you know? Hare Krishna. Huh? She's going or something. So that's not the way that Radhakanta Prabhu would have done it, but what I was going to say is that Radhakanta Prabhu, it was the only one that I heard, would had this practice that after every Jayarada Madhava that he would have chant before giving a lecture, he will bring in praying for the blessings of the Goswamis. Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. So we can have the girls of Jagannath Sevak Prabhu to lead us in a little kirtan. In the meantime, we're getting ready with the Havan set up here. Sanat Kumaro Vato Kamadeva Dara Sirsamam Pati Devahilanat Divarshi Varya Purusar Chanantarat Kormo Harirmam Niradya Ashesha Om Prajapati Vishnu Rishi Brihati Chanda Shri Vishnu Devata Agni Stafani Viniyoga Om Bhurbhuva Swa Om.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. I don't know how many time we will have for anyone who are joining us virtually on Zoom. We are going to perform the Agnihotra ceremony now, after which the feast that was prepared, many of the family members would have contributed on behalf of their departed loved ones to prepare a feast that right now offering is going on the altar to their Lordship Sri Sri Paramakana Nitai Gaura Chandra. And the Maha Prasadam of their Lordship will be offered. There will be separate plates that will be offered to each one of the departed devotees. So that will be done immediately. While Artik will be going on, that will be done. So we'll go right into the Havan. You can get 20 sticks. You can soak it in the ghee. We'll need to offer that just now. Om Tad Vishnu Padamam Padam Sada Pasyanti Sudaya Deviva Chakshadatatam Tad Vripransa Vripanyavo Jagrivamsa Samindate Vishnu Yad Padamam Padam. Om Krishna Vai Sachitananda Guna Krishna Adi Purusha Krishna Purushottama Krishna Utkarmadi Moolam Krishna Sarvar Karya Krishna Kasamkrit Adisho Mukhya Prabhu Puja Krishna Anadis Anjantar Bahiryam Mangalam Tallavati Kriti Aham Kraturam Yajnaha Swadaham Aham Oshadam Mantram Aham Erajam Aham Agnir Aham Hutam Om Swasti no Govinda Swasti Chutananta Swasti no Vasudeva Vishnu Dato Swasti no Narayana Paruvai Swasti na Padmanabha Purushottamo Dato Swasti no Vainaktir Harir Swasti no Anjana Sutur Hanur Bhagavata Darato Swasti Swasti Samangala Kleshaman Shri Krishna Sachitananda Guna Sarva Isharo Isharo Dadato Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Continuously Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we'll be requesting all those who are sitting around the fire to please, as you hear Swaha, we'll try to get some grains direct into the fire. Straight into the fire. And you can come as close as possible. Om Prabhaniduda Pashivayajna Pate Bhagaya Pata Sarva Bhutasta Ketam Puketam Napananto Vag Isha Vacham Na Swarato. So remember, some of the devotees here are sitting on behalf of your god brother. You're representing them, so please, Bhajagaranga, on behalf of Ramadas. Bhajagaranga, on behalf of, who is it? Nareshwar. Okay. So Haridas Prabhu on behalf of Baladev Prabhu. We have Navin Prabhu sitting on behalf of Ramadas, and our dear Hara Prabhu is sitting on behalf of Lochandas Thakur, and then the rest of you know yourselves. Om Bhur Swaha Idam Vaishnava Idam Namam Om Bhuva Swaha Idam Achyuta Idam Namam Om Swaha Idam Narayana Idam Namam Om Bhur Swaha Idam Anantya Idam Namam. Mangalacharna Pranama, Mangalacharna and Guru Pranama together, all of us. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Swaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakadvitam Swaha He Krishna Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Swaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shiva Shamami Devi Dayataya Kripadai Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhujala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtai Dinatarini Rupanuga Vinuda Pasidanta Dantaharini Swaha Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murte Vipralambara Sambodhi Paramujayate Namaha Swaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Vadayate Swaha Gaura Virbhava Bhumishtam Nijista Svajana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Homa Shri Jagannatayate Namah Swaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Swaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Swaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Swaha Namo Maha Vaishnava Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah
Swaha.
Panchatattvaatmakam
Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Swaha.
He Krishna
Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Swaha.
Tam
Tor
Surato
Pangor Mama Mundamate Gati Matsava Sampada Bujo Radha Madana Mohano Swaha. Divya Grindaranya Kalpadumala Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtale Vishevyamanam Smarami Swaha. Srimad Rasarasaram Evam Sevata Tadastitaha Karshan Venu Swanir Gopi Gopinata Shriyastuna Swaha. Chana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Deve Pranamami Hari Priye Swaha.
Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Swaha.
Maha Mantra together.
Hare
Each one of you will be doing, offering 3 Maha Mantra on behalf of your departed loved ones. Wherever you are, whoever joining us on Zoom, for the family members or relatives who are not here physically, you can sincerely offer these 3 Maha Mantra during this time of Pichipaksh to your loved one, to the departed soul. If you would have fall short in any way in making offerings, offer tarpan, or making any offering to them, by chanting these 3 Maha Mantras, we beg that they receive the full blessings of the Lord, and that they will all attain Krishna Prema, and ultimately returning back home, back to the kingdom of God, where they will enjoy eternal life in the wonderful service of Sri Sri Radha and Shyam in Sri Goloka Vrindavan Dham. So together, 3 Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Swaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Swaha. So we'll be doing Prayasthitya Homa. Prayasthitya Homa means praying and begging for forgiveness. If there is any mistakes while preparing or executing this ceremony here this morning, any apparatus, we pray and beg forgiveness from the Supreme Lord, and that He can also grant us the full benediction for what this yagya, this havan, or the entire Maha Vaishnava Shraadha ceremony is meant for. And again, if you would have fall short or in any way make any mistakes in your individual offerings to your loved ones, it's a good time to ask for forgiveness also. So together. Om Anchainam Kriyahinam Bhaktahinam Janadanam Yat Pujatam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastu Me Swaha. Om Aparada Sahasrani
क्रियन्ते हनिशन्मया दासोऽमिति ममत्स्व क्षमस्व मधुसूदन
स्वाहा Om Pratigantaya Govinda Name
Bhakta Pranashyati Iti samsritya samsritya
Vadan Sadayami Aham Swaha
Anadhi Nidano Deva Shankachakra Galadhara Avyaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava
Swaha
Atasi Pushpa Sankasham Pitavasa Samakshritam Ye Namasyanti Govindam Natesham Vidyate Bhayam
Swaha
Krishna Krishna Kripalotvam Agatinam Gatirbhava Samsararnavamagnanam Prasida Purushottama
Swaha. So those of you who are sitting around the fire, you can please stand, leave the grains down, put on your leaf, and give everyone one banana, Bhajagaranga, and you can get the fire up a little bit.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna. So this is called Purnahuti, or the final offering for this Havan, this Yagya. Everyone can please repeat after me, and then when we signal you, one by one, beginning from Haridas Prabhu, go wrong, right to be wrong, you will place a banana right around the fire. Everyone, please. Om Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Ditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Swaha So beginning from Haridas Prabhu, place the banana into the fire. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamiva Vasishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamiva Vasishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamiva Vasishyate. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki, Iskan Swamak Pacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Anant Gori Vaishnavin Ki, Jai Gaur Premanandi. Om Daya Shanti Antariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apa Shanti Vayu Shanti Tejaha Shanti Ashudaya Shanti Lokaha Shanti Brahmanaha Shanti Vaishnavaha Shanti Shanti Rastur Driti Rastur Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Krishna. So just before you go for art, before the artik begins, you can take the opportunity. You can just somehow the other place, or maybe Baja will do that at the end. You will throw the grains, all the extra grains around the fire. But you can start a little kirtan, initial kirtan before the artik, Mayapur Prabhu. And all of us, those of you here, can take the opportunity 3 times. We will circumambulate the fire. And then we will hear the sound of the conch shell, and then the family members, you will take your relative or your departed loved one picture and you will be directed by Sachisuta and Bhajagaranga. You will place them on the table behind the curtain, side on my right side of the temple room, at this end of the temple room here. And then we'll be making the offering of Vishnu Prasadam. So, Kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna. You can all stand for the artik. Conch shall already blow. So you can all offer obeisances on behalf. Those of you who are sitting, you can stay right here. Those of you who are sitting around the fire, we need you right here on behalf of your loved one. The rest of you can go forward for artik. And you're offering obeisances on behalf of your loved one, whoever would have departed within the last year or so, you can offer on behalf of them. And those of you who are here, of course, you know your roles. So, Arti Kirtan, please.
Jai Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya 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 Nitai Gaurachandra Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. So everybody kindly join us. Please chant together loudly. Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatyadishatarine
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषः शून्यवादी पश्चाधीशतारिणे
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद
कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद
नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jaya Nitai Gaura Chanda, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chanda, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chanda, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chanda.
Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chanda, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chanda.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai.
Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Stoda Stasi Samadhis Vangres, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvakacharya Stoda Stasi Samadhis Vangres, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki. Shri Jagannath Shri Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj ki. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki, Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki, Sat Goswami ki, Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai, Vrindavan Mathuram ki Jai, Brihat Madanga ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki, Sri Gangamaya Manamaya ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki, Sri Vaishnava Shraadha ceremony ki, Shri Shri Paramakanda Nitai Gauda Chanda ki, Dear Lordship Shri Shri Paramakanda Nitai Gauda Chanda ki, Nitai Gauda Premanandi. All glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharni Nirvishesha Shanivadi Pastatyari Shatarini. Hare Krishna. If you want, you can turn your chair around this way and you can sit, no problem.
Namaste Narashringaya.
Narashingaya.
Namaste Narashringaya.
Namaste Narashingaya.
Paladaladaladalaine. Paladaladaine. Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha.
Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha.
Shilatankana Kalaine.
Shilatankana Kalaine.
Itona Shringa Paratona Shringa.
Itona Shringa Paratona Shringa.
Yatoya Toya Mitatona Shringa.
Yatoya Toya Mitatona Shringa.
Vahena Shringa Hridayena Shringa.
Vahena Shringa Hridayena Shringa.
Nara Shringa Madhim Sharanam Prapade.
Shringa Madhim Sharanam Prapade.
Nara Shringa Madhim Sharanam Prapade.
Shringa Madhim Sharanam Prapade.
Tava Kara Kamala Varena Kamatuta Shringa. Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringa. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tava Kara Kamala
Varena Adbhuta Shringa. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringa. Keshavadeta Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Prahlad Narasimha. Jaya Prahlad Narasimha. Jaya Prahlad Narasimha. Jaya Prahlad Narasimha.
Jaya Prahlad Narasimha. Jaya Prahlad Narasimha. Jaya Prahlad Narasimha. Jaya Prahlad Narasimha.
Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Jaya
Nitai
Prabhupada.
Gora Haribo. 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 Gora Haribo.
Nitai Gaura Haribo. 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Shri Prahlad Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Paramahansa Gaura Chandra ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Paramakana Nitai Gaura Chanya ki, Saina Sangha Bhagavan ki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So just before we all go on Anna Prasadam, which is also a big part of the ceremony here this morning, that on behalf of the departed devotees, the family members would have contributed towards a feast that would have prepared and offered to their lordship. So any Shraddha ceremony will conclude with bhojan or prasadam, and that part is described as one of the essential or important part, to see that all your invitees, and especially the brahmanas, are being fully satisfied. And the easiest way for satisfy anyone is with prasadam. I don't know how else we'll satisfy one another without, if there is no prasadam. So we'll humbly request that when you get down there, you try to assist in, each family member. You can try to at least, serve some devotee, and see that they are fully satisfied on behalf of your loved one, your departed loved one. So before we conclude, I would like to ask our dear God brother, secretary to our GBC, our Guru Maharaj, His Grace Damraj Prabhu, to take a few minutes and give a few remarks. Afterward, we'll hear a few remarks from Haridas Prabhu, Sachi Sutta Prabhu, and Ramna Singha Prabhu. And of course, it is just concluding remarks. We don't intend to keep you here too long. So Damraj Dev Prabhu, you're there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me clearly?
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me clearly? I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Go right ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, Vanchakalpaturubhascha Kripasindhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. So, first of all, on behalf of the GDC body, we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to HKSC for arranging this Maha Shraadha ceremony. Something that is so very necessary in our Vaishnava culture. And also I'd like to offer my deepest condolences again to the family members of all those who have departed of recent. Actually, it's record-breaking within our ISKCON Guyana that for the first time we had such an incident of so many departed Vaishnavas in such a short time. When I was listening to the names as was read out by Sachi Sutta Prabhu, there was nothing but tears coming to my eyes to understand how many devotees have departed in such a very short time. I was wondering what's the plan of the Lord is. Once Lord Chaitanya described that this material world is like a flowing river, and objects in that river are flowing down. So, in other words, living entities are flowing on their way through this material world in all hellish conditions. But sometimes you have little corners and there are sticks and stones that may be there, and when any other objects hook on it, they get caught and they escape that free-flowing river. So that's how devotees get involved in devotional service, by the connection of other devotees who are like those sticks that get them hooked and pull them away from the flow of this material world. So the more devotees we have, it's easier it is for us to help others. So when we have the loss of even one single devotee, it's such a great pain for us, it's such a great loss that we cannot describe, we cannot imagine what loss our society undergoes when such personalities leave. Even as little as that little baby, Sivananda, that the example that they set, that okay, just see what can happen in this lifetime, so be careful. Just a little child, a year old, and life goes away. So, with the passing of so many devotees in our Vaishnava society here for the past year or so, it drives a very, very strong message to us that, first of all, we need to be more conscious of each other, be more appreciative of each other, be more loving and caring for our fellow devotees. Not only in Krishna consciousness to see that we chant our rounds and follow the principles, but also to see that our lives are being taken care of. We're like a big family. Srila Prabhupada built this house in which the whole world can live, so we are one big family. And it's very, very important that we help to take care of each other and be in touch with each other. That sometimes we don't know when unfortunate incidents like this can happen. I remember the very vivid case of Jagannath Sevak Prabhu. It's only the night before that I had the opportunity to really know him. We stood from maybe 7:30 until about 11:30 that night before. We sat there talking and really able to know and appreciate each other. And then 9:30 next morning, just before I left his association, I took a picture of he and his good wife, and that was the last. So we never know when these things can happen. So in our Vaishnava culture, the association of devotees is our most important tool and asset that we have in our Krishna consciousness. So these tools and assets, as I said, the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, the devotees, we have to hold on to as much as we can. We never know when it will be the last moment. I remember early days of Abhaya Prabhu from when he first joined Buddha Yoga Prabhu. Buddha Yoga, Abhaya, and Pandavasena Prabhu are the first devotees that I ever met. And that's a lasting impression in my heart. So, whenever these devotees leave, it's an untold suffering in the eyes of the devotees. Because not only because we're having short members for our movement to carry on, but also the influence that those devotees have whenever they're present in their own lives and in the lives of others around them. And for having a microscopic speck, per se, of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in the life of a devotee, that is very, very important. So that is the essence of our movement, that every one of us are like little microscopic ray of the Lord and his devotees, performing some pastimes or engaging in some service here in this world. So everyone benefits. A devotee's life is not like an ordinary person. The mere presence, even if he just sits in his house, like we heard of Mother Revati, by just sitting in their house in their old age, they are so influential throughout the Gana Yatra. So we should all bear in mind and take this as a very strong lesson, that we should take each other more seriously and less for granted, because our our lifespan is limited, our days are pretty much numbered, and our only resource and sustenance are the association of devotees. So again, I want to offer my deepest condolences to not only to the relatives but to all the devotees there in Guyana for such losses, and we hope that those devotees get very strong shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, and others can learn from their examples how they carry their lives, and we can help in our own Krishna consciousness as well. So again, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Damaraj Dev Prabhu, thank you very much to be on and to offer those few wonderful words. Haridas Prabhu.
Om Gyanatimandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshudunmalitanyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langaita Girim Yatkripatmaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatadunam. I would like to begin to say that I had the good fortune okay, thank you. To be in the association of many of these devotees who have departed. Started from Buddhi Yoga Prabhu. He served with me in Crabwood Creek while I was there in 1983, 84. Abhaya Prabhu, we worked together also in the Sewell Village, Panihati. I know the entire family. We were very close together. I used to visit his home very regularly. His Grace Baladev Prabhu, he's my godbrother. I happen to have his association quite often while serving my Guru Maharaj in Stuyvesant Falls, upstate New York. Up to his departure, I was there very close with him. I could have understand his heart of just being detached from everything in this world and just prepared to surrender to whatever the Lord wants of him. Mata Revati, I know her from her very inception of her Krishna consciousness and practicing in the High Flat and then coming to Crane there, serving their Lordship, Sri Sri Nitai Chaitanya Chandra. Mata Revati, I remember she sent me a message saying, Prabhu, please send me deity darshan as much as you can of their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Gokula Chandra. She was very much attached to the deities there. And of course, to many of the other devotees who have departed, I had very close association and the good fortune of being with them. Also, in my short visit here in Guyana just a few weeks ago, I also took advantage to visit the homes of some of these devotees' family. It was somewhat of a very nice reconnection. Some of them, I wasn't here at their departure. Of course, I forget Jagannath Sevaka Prabhu. I was very close with him in his Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of his Krishna conscious life. Like I had said previously, I think I was like one person he used to confide in anything that troubles him in his life. We had a very wonderful, close relationship until I leave for United States in 2019. Devotees, the Vaishnavas are very rare. And certainly it's a great opportunity for all of us that can have the association of devotees to get their blessings and offer some service. Like I said last night, one rich man was saying that the children is the most important thing for them. They are their wealth. But I would say the Vaishnavas are our actual wealth. Devotees of Krishna are our actual wealth. They are the most valuable people that we have in our midst. And certainly to lose them is something that we should meditate on, and we can tell ourselves that whatever time we spent with them, it was all to our spiritual benefits and upliftment. I just came to my mind, I also forget to say about Trides Bhagwan Prabhu. We also had very intimate connection together, work together in Krishna consciousness as the project manager for New Kalinagram. I was there with him. You heard from Prabhupada Deva Prabhu earlier that he had rendered very wonderful service to our society throughout his life. And these are all wonderful devotees that we will all miss just within this 1 year. So many of them have passed away. So I can only offer prayers to Krishna that I can follow in their footsteps, and I'm sure their destination is a very auspicious one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Haridas Prabhu. Ramnasingha Prabhu.
So Hare Krishna, everyone. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kumagyanatimirandasya Gyananjala Shalakya Chakshuran Miltam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvaya Namaha. So I would like to add a little bit more of Haridas Prabhu just said. There was so much already said, but I really like. Okay. So I would like to agree with him in saying that the Vaishnavas in this age of Kali Yuga is the most valuable wealth that is present in the planet. So we have lost quite a lot of Vaishnava, and this has impacted the entire society. So our GBC, out of his care, he was very much affected by all that was happening. And he wanted that these Vaishnava to be honored properly. So therefore he instructed the national board to come in contact with Prabhupada Dev Prabhu, and we should organize a grand Vaishnava Shraadha for the benefit of all these wonderful devotees. And more so, that those who don't know these devotees personally would have been able to understand how much they have contributed towards the development of Krishna consciousness in Guyana. So I'd like to thank Prabhupada Dev Prabhu for so graciously honoring the GBC in arranging such a wonderful ceremony, that we can get this opportunity not only for us, the few of us who are here, but who are connected worldwide. So can I take 2 minutes and more to speak about these devotees? I know all these devotees, and they have impacted me very much. I'm supposed to conclude with a concluding statement, but I would like to make these statements. For all these devotees, even from Buddha Yoga Prabhu, since I was a little kid, I know all these devotees. I once went to his house in Tain. He had a program, and he would invite me to come to the temple, but I wouldn't go because I was connected to my local man there. So I came there once. He said, "You know what? I know this one thing about you, Anthony." That was my name at the time. You wouldn't come for the program, but you would come for the prasadam. So this is the power of prasadam. Jagannath Sevaka Prabhu, very intimate, closely related God brother. I would like to share this now. There are so many wonderful things, association between me and him. But there's this one thing that he always wanted me to do, Bhakti Shastri. So I decided one day, so I called him and I said, you know what? I'm going to do Bhakti Shastri. Jagannath Sevaka Prabhu went and entered me for Bhakti Shastri, my 2 sons and my wife. Unknowing to me. So he came and he told me, no, I enter all of you for Bhakti Shastri. You should all do it because my children are going to do it too. So I'm saying that, I was saying to him that my 2 sons, they're in CXC class at the moment. How are they going to study for Bhakti Shastri? He said, you don't worry about that. The Lord will take care of all arrangement. And because of that, 9 months for these boys to study for CXC, they were engaged in Bhakti Shastri, waking up till 12 o'clock in the night to attend classes. I guess he was right. Tridish Bhagwan Prabhu was impacted my life so much. I came to the Hare Krishna temple and I wasn't even a vegetarian. Myself and Bhajagaranga, we were studying for ACC at the time. So the 2 of us, we used to hit the table. He's an expert musician, as you know. And we used to chant kirtan. So we decided we were going to visit the temple one day. And Tridish Bhagawan, we like what we saw there. Very quickly organized for the temple to have a youth group. I think that was the first youth group, right? That we had in ISKCON. And he wanted me and Bhajagaranga to be a part of that youth group. And that was the hook on me. You catch a fish with a hook? That was the hook for me. Immediately, Haridas Prabhu was here. He's also instrumental in that youth group. I became a vegetarian. I saw that the Lord wanted me to be a devotee. And I engaged in that. For these little things, it may seem to people, created big impact, make families of devotee. So this is how glorious these Vaishnavas are. The little things that they do when it seems insignificant has, what is it, a Vaishnava? It goes in like a needle and come out like a rose. It came out very big. These Vaishnavas exemplify that. I'd like to stop there. I'd like to thank all of you for participating in whatever way you have to ensure that this Shraddha ceremony would have been successful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sachisuta Prabhu. So I just smelled this flower that was offered to Lord Nrsimhadev this morning. And I just thought that even smelling these flowers that was offered to the Lord can be done on behalf of someone else.
Hare Krishna, Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. So I'd just like to share with all of you a short excerpt by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and also Srila Prabhupada on the glories of the Vaishnavas, specifically on their appearance and disappearance in this world. So this is a verse written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to Srila Haridas Thakur, who is Namacharya, when he disappeared. And it's a very famous stanza. Maybe you have heard it many times. It goes as follows, quote, "He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in song. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around." So that's Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now from Srila Prabhupada, in one of his Bhakta magazine in 1978, he wrote, quote, "As Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are all spiritual, transcendental, they are not ordinary things. Similarly, Lord Krishna's devotee, his representative, who is sent to this material world for preaching the glories of Lord Krishna, their appearance and disappearance is also like Krishna's. Therefore, according to Vaishnava principles, the appearance and disappearance of Vaishnava is considered all auspicious." So I would like to finally conclude by saying I was very fortunate within a short time I've been part of this movement. I was very fortunate to be in the association of most of these devotees and to offer some little seva to them. And I want to thank all the various family members for your cooperation and for your support over the last 2 days and today, for helping us, the management here and the devotees here, to make this Maha Vaishnava Shraadha festival a grand success. So thank you very much, everyone. And we want to thank all the devotees here at the center also, who would have assisted to organize and to see that if the programs go on, not forgetting all the devotees who would have joined through the Zoom, the virtual platforms from around the Caribbean, the US. We thank you very much for being there and for your participation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That couldn't have come from anybody else other than a Bhakti Shastri teacher. So, you somehow or the other can know them. So, thank you very much, Sachisuta Prabhu, to so nicely conclude with those teachings and quotes from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. I'm sure we will all leave here this afternoon with those quotations. It's our philosophy, it's our acharyas. It is not coming from somebody outside or some outsiders. We somehow or the other have to add up and start to practice them. I know many persons are saying, it is hard and it is difficult and get, we all get, carried away at times. And that is natural, that will be there. When I lost my father, the same thing was there and still there, but we also have to understand the higher principle, and that is what we just heard. So, of course, Sachisuta Prabhu have also already took the opportunity to thank everyone. To add to that, everyone who would have contributed towards the program in every aspect, in buying fruits and ghee and all this stuff for the yagya, setting up the temple room, and then the cooking side, the deities, making of garlands, everything. Put your hands together for all these devotees, the kirtanyas, those who will be serving the prasadam and cleaning up afterward. Put your hands together for all these wonderful devotees. We want to thank them very much throughout the last 2 evenings. I thought it was very nice after some time to get back on the Zoom platform. We deliberately didn't advertise Friday night and last night on Facebook and YouTube, because many persons say, Prabhu, I was on YouTube or I was on, Facebook. We don't know. When you're on Zoom, at least we can see you, your name appear there. So we know that you're there. So look forward for much more of those programs. Thanks to Bhakta Chris, Hari Kirtan, and Bhakta Thakur, their technical team. I will humbly request that, if you have a contribution to make and you like to improve their online shows, their online platform activities that they're having, you can probably inquire from them. It is one area that we kind of, sidetrack. We don't notice them sometimes. What to speak if they need another camera or need a piece of wire or anything like that to make their lives easier when they have, like today we told them, you have to shift everything in the back of the temple room. So, I don't know, the temple room is 100 feet, so how you get 100 feet cable from there to there, So, I saw they were running helter-skelter, how to get the mics and everything. And then I saw that, I said, these guys are good because they have the amplifier here and the mics was all at the back there. And then I saw they have 4, cardless mics. So I said, these guys are good, but maybe they still need some improvements. So once again, on behalf of ISKCON of Guyana Hare Krishna Study Center, we want to take this opportunity to thank our GBC, my dear Guru Maharaj, Srila Virbahu Prabhu, for his initiative, his keen thinking, and suggestion, advice for us to hold such a ceremony. As I would have mentioned 2 nights ago, it was never done, even in the history of ISKCON or even in the outside wider world. I don't know if something like this was ever done on behalf of so many individuals. Ceremonies were done just like right now. There are ceremonies to honor the Queen of England, and the whole world will be honoring that. But most of the time was either 1, 2, or 3 persons. Never, a bunch of persons together who would have departed within a short time. So this is unique, and thank you very much, our dear Guru Maharaj. Thank our God Brother Ramnasingha Prabhu, who was instrumental in many ways and coming up, myself and him, the date and everything else. And thank the members, my colleague of the ISKCON of Guyana Hare Krishna Study Center Management Board, also to agree and not just agree, but person like Radhakishore and Sanjay Sachisuta get, right into it, and Hari Kirtan, with his advertising on social media and all that. So it was quite a teamwork, and then everyone pitch in, everyone's help. So thank you very much. Put your hands together for all those who would have contributed. I don't want to attempt to call individual names, otherwise you might get a little issue there, but know for sure we appreciate your contributions and your help, your assistance in any way possible, and those who would have drive far to be here with us also. It is quite something. So thank you. Our Sunday love feasts continue every Sunday morning. This is the mood from 10 to 1. You can begin with Guru Puja, as we all did this morning, Tulsi Artik, Kirtan, discourses, and beautiful Artik to their Lordship, Sri Sri Paramakarna Nitai Gaurachandra. And if you don't want all that, then come and take a hot lunch with us. Come and take a hot lunch with us every Sunday midday. Thank you. Please Anna Prasadam into your full satisfaction. Bhojan Prasadam will be served in the hall below the temple room here. Hare Krishna.